In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a beautiful website like this one you are watching right now. As you can see, this navbar section has this background color and with smooth transition when it is being over upon. Can you see how smooth it is? Now, when you click on this button as well, you can see how it transitions smoothly and the color changes. So let's see how to get this website done using HTML and CSS. In order to get started, I have this folder that I have named the name of the website that I wanted to create. So I have this picture that I wanted to use as a background image. So I'm going to drag it inside the folder. So now I'm going to right click and open it with code. So I'm going to click on this plus icon in order to create a new index file. So I'm going to type index.html. Press enter on your keyboard. So I'm going to come to this section again. I'm going to type in style.css. Press enter on your keyboard. Let me adjust the size so that I can have the browser by the right hand side. So I'm going to press this icon so that I can have more space to work with. So I'm going to come back to this index.html file. So I'm going to type in shift plus the exclamation mark, then press enter in order to generate the HTML boilerplate. Basically, that's the name of the website that I wanted to create. So I'm going to give it the markup. So first I'm going to give it header tag, then followed by the navbar. So in the navbar, I'm going to give it the h2 class of logo. So in this logo, I'm going to write EbsolTech, then space. I'm going to give it the span so that I can style it separately, giving it another color. So I'm going to write tech. So coming back to this section, I'm going to press the backspace. So after that, I'm going to type in the UL, that is the unordered list. So in the unordered list, I'm going to type li. I'm going to give it the website menu. First one is O. So now let's open with live server. Right click and click on open with live server so that we can see what we have done so far. As you can see, this is what we have done so far. So let's continue. So in order to duplicate this section, press Shift Alt and the down arrow key multiple times based on the number of menu items we wanted to create. So after the home, I'm going to service, then followed by contacts. As you can see, we have the rate time update here. So after the O markup, have the default. As you can see, we have default padding and margin. So I wanted to remove it. So firstly, I'm going to target the O element on the page. So I'm going to give it the padding of 0, then the margin of 0, the font family sans serif, and the box sizing of border box. So after that, I'm going to link the CSS to the HTML. Coming back to this section after the title, so I'm going to write link column CSS so that we can link the HTML and the CSS. As you can see, the update has been applied here. So now let's continue. Next, we are going to target the header tag. So now the header, we are going to give it the background image. Then this is the color I'm going to type in. So now, so as you can see, I have the linear gradient here. So I'm going to add the background image here using URL laptop.jpg. So the image I had earlier on, that's it. So I'm going to give it the width of 100%, the height of 100 viewport high. As you can see, it has been applied. So now let's view it at the full screen. Can you see? So this is the image. So we are not done yet, so let's continue. So I'm going to give it background position. Background position, center. So background size, cover. As you can see, so let's view it one more time. As you can see, this is how the background image is going to look like. So now let's continue. After that, we are going to target the Navbar class. So I'm going to give it display flex. So then align item center, justify content, space between. As you can see, so this is it already. So after the navbar, I'm going to target the UL. Then I'm going to target the navbar UL LI. So I'm going to give it display inline block, so that as you can see, we have all this section here. It has changed. So after the display inline block, so I'm going to give it the list type none. So I'm going to give it a padding of 10 px top and bottom, as you can see, so that it can have more space in between. So here under this navbar, so I'm going to give it a padding. So I'm going to give it a padding of 10 px top and bottom, then 6% left and right, so that we can have space both at the left hand side and at the right hand side, as you can see here. So after that, now I'm going to come back to this section. Then I'm going to target the logo. So we have the logo. The color is going to be white. Color is going to be white. As you can see, the color has changed. So then I'm going to target the logo and the span. So I'm going to change the color to tomato, as you can see. So now let's continue. So after that, so I'm going to change the font size. So I'm going to change the font size to 35 px, so that it can be bigger. So I wanted to copy this section so that I can work with it again. So I'm going to paste it, then so the color will be white, as you can see. So font weight will be bold. The font weight will be bold, as you can see. So we have text decoration none. So let's view it in the full screen. Can you see? This is how it is looking currently. So now let's continue, please. So after that, I'm going to type in .nav bar a over, then over, the over color is going to be border bottom, bottom 2px solid tomato, so that when we over on it, the border bottom will change. So I'm going to write transition here, transition or 0.6 seconds is. So now let's over on it to see how it's going to look like. Can you see the smooth transition? Can you see? So also I'm going to change the color to tomato as well when it is over. So the color is going to be tomato when I over on it. So can you see how the color is changing smoothly? So we are going to give this navbar a background color and a box shadow of white. So now let's give it this background color. So as you can see, we have it here. Then we're also going to give it a box shadow of white. So box shadow, so then 20 pixel blur, then with a white color at the bottom. Can you see this cool box shadow? After that, let's move on to adding the contents to the header section. So now we are done with the navbar. I'm going to give it a div class of contents. So now let me add my content here that I wanted to use. So I'm going to give it h1 class of service info. Press tab. So I'm going to paste this title here. So I'm going to give it a p class of description. Let me short it this way. So the paragraph content is going to be, this is the content of the paragraph. Can you see? So I'm going to add two buttons here. So I'm going to type in button.btn. So I'm going to type in learn more. So I'm going to duplicate this button. So the second button is going to be get started. So I'm going to rename this button as button 2. So let's move on to the styling. So let's target the content class. So we wanted to place all these items here at the center. So first thing, we are going to give it a position of absolute. We are going to give it a position of absolute. So top 45%, left 50%, then transform, translate minus 50%, as you can see. So now let's target this section, which is the service info. So we can easily copy this class, Ctrl C. Now let's paste it here. So press dot, Ctrl V. The service info. So color is going to be white. So margin bottom is going to be 10 px. We are done with the section. Then we are going to target the description class. The color also is going to be white. So the line height is going to be 20 px, and the letter spacing is going to be 1 px. So let's see the layout. Can you see? Everything is now coming out. So let's move on. So I'm going to write margin bottom to be 10 pixel. Now let's target the button. We are going to give it a padding of 10 px top and bottom, then left and right is going to be 15 px. Now let's move on. We are going to give it a background of tomato. Color is going to be white. Then we are going to remove all the border. The border is going to be none. The outline is going to be none as well. So border radius is going to be 5px. So we are going to give it the border of 2px solid transparent. The font weight is going to be bold. Then the margin right is going to be 10px. Transition is going to be all 0.6 seconds is. So now let's copy all these. So let's copy all these items, Ctrl C to paste it. So here we are going to change it to button 2. So the background here is going to be white. Let's change the background to white, and the color is going to be black. Can you see? So we have the second button. Then let's give it the over style dot btn over. So we are going to copy any of this. Now let's copy this one. So let's copy this one. Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So instead of transparent, we are going to give it tomato. Put colon. Then the background is going to be transparent. And the color is going to be tomato. Color is going to be tomato. Can you see this cool over effects? So likewise, we are going to copy this over effect. Now let's copy this over effect. Let's copy this over effect. Now I'm going to change this one to button 2. I'm going to change it to button 2. Then the color is going to be white. Color is going to be white, transparent, and the border is going to be white as well. Now let's see the full website. Can you see this cool over effects? Can you see the cool over effects? If you really enjoyed this video, please do me a favor by subscribing to my channel. Also turn on the post notification bell so that each time I upload a new video like this, you'll be the first person to be updated.